It's like a mirror, a looking glass, a reflection from the divine to the real. It will speak unto him in a dream. Literally, this is one way. Kyle and Delis says, in him, a revelation in a dream fell within the inner sphere of soul life. However, Moses was not one like this. God spoke to Moses face to face. God did not reveal himself to the priests who were entrusted with the tabernacle sanctuary. God called prophets after Moses for that purpose. So let's look at these. Matthew 24, 3 through 5. And as he sat on the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world? And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. Now, over the years, I have researched various individuals who claim to be Christ. Yes, they've been there. And they've come from other countries. There was one that was living in Florida, and I don't know what the aspect with him, but he came out of South America, moved to Florida, started a congregation, and his church was like any other Christian church. That's what it looked like. But it wasn't. Matter of fact, he called himself Antichrist, and eventually had everybody in the congregation put the emblem 666 on themselves. Yeah, I'm not making this up. That was true. I reported on it way back when. There was another from over Russia way, and there was another one from over in the islands. I'm trying to think if it was Australia. It was something over there. We've had them. True Antichrist. Let's go to Mark 13, 5 through 8. And Jesus answering them began to say, Take heed, lest any man deceive you. Pay attention. Don't let any man deceive you. Any man in the church, and you Catholics, especially the Pope. Thank God you got some archbishops, and you've got some bishops, and you got some others that have enough God sense to speak up against some of the nutty things your popes say. And I've been tracking the popes for many years. I pay attention to what they say. So, you're going to have to pay attention. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And when you hear of wars and rumors of wars, be not troubled, for such things must needs be, but the end shall not be yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be earthquakes in divers places, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginning of sorrows. Now see, when I look at a lot of this, Matthew, Mark, Luke. You can actually go through this and what Yeshua said, and you can find a timeline. There's the beginning of sorrows, and then there's sorrows. But they're not like you're sorrowing for a death of your cat, which can be catastrophic, or your dog, or even your child. These sorrows are unlike anything that's ever come. There will never be a time in the future, except for what's coming. There will never be a time, or there never has been a time, let me put it that way, in the past that will be even close to what is going to happen. For the sorrows, the death, the famines, the troubles are going to be severe. And people by the millions will be deluded and deceived. And as much as you hate Israel, they're going to be around. Luke 21, 5 through 9. And as some spake of the temple, how it was adorned with goodly stones and gifts, he said, As for these things which you behold, the days will come, in which there shall not be left one stone upon another, that shall not be thrown down. And that came. This was after the Lord was resurrected and he was in heaven. This also came after he appeared to Paul, and Paul became an apostle. It came when Titus put down a Jewish rebellion. Josephus records, and they say they counted 1,000,000. In history, they literally counted. And so the rebellion was put down, the temple was destroyed, and that was the end of the story. The Jews were officially and uncategorically judged. And the Lord told them that. It's in the Gospels. They did not know the time of their visitation, and your house is left unto you desolate, he said. Let's continue. And they asked him, saying, Master, but when shall these things be? And what sign will there be when these things shall come to pass? And he said, Take heed that you be not deceived. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and the time draweth near. Go ye not therefore after them, stay away from them. Why would you do that? Because the power of deception is so great. If you go into their meetings, you're going to believe them. You know, the people say, and this has been bantered about by the best, that the devil doesn't do miracles. But he does. And Paul talks about the son of perdition. He will lead the people to destruction. So it is time to pay attention. But when you shall hear of wars and commotions, be not terrified. For these things must first come to pass, but the end is not by and by. Now let's look at Thessalonians, chapter 2, 1 through 4. Now we beseech you, brethren, by the coming of our Lord Jesus Christ, and by our gathering together unto him, that you be not soon shaken in mind, or be troubled, neither by spirit, nor by the word, nor by letter as from us, as that day of Christ is at hand. There were people wandering around saying the day of Christ is at hand. Some of them have even said it's past. Let no man deceive you by any means. For that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed. There's only one man of sin that's going to be revealed. Actually, there's two. There is the son of perdition, and then there's the false prophet, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God. Now that's the way you know who he is, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sits in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. Now see, Paul the apostle knows, as a Jew, and he was a Pharisee of the Pharisee, he knew the law better than most of the Jews. So when he tells you that he's going to sit as God in the temple of God, you better believe that this individual will sit as God in the temple of God. It's not going to be a church. It will be a temple. It's a temple of God. Now, you might say, well, it could be any number of faiths. No, it will be, I believe, beyond a shadow of a doubt, the third temple. And of course, that's hotly debated. But I think because of Paul says that this individual is going to sit as God in the temple of God, there's got to be a temple. And that's what it has to be. And it can't be any other than a Jewish temple. Because Paul is talking about someone that is, he's going to have to be very knowledgeable in these things. Because he's going to try to get the Jews to follow him. Now, the general discussion here among many is that the Antichrist will indeed, or the son of perdition, he will put this together. He will follow this. And so this is where we go into verses 7 through 12. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Now see, that's what's work right now. It was at work when Paul wrote this. The mystery of iniquity comes out of the fruits of the devil. And there's also something else that's going to work, as Isaiah points out. And that is, in Isaiah 24, he talks about the curse devouring the earth. And the curse is the same curse that occurred when Adam and Eve rebelled against God, lied, and fell. And it brought